Hello sewmates, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So in this video I'm going to be teaching us how to draft this mid-bust funnel corset with an asymmetric hemline. So if this is something you like, please don't forget to subscribe, comment, like and share. To all our new and returning subscribers, I thank you guys for all the support. Thank you so much. So I've gone ahead to mark out the horizontal measurement, just as you can see. So from the waistline to the blouse length, I mark out 5 inches, but I'm still going to be extending the line. So now I'll be placing the shoulder measurements, just as you can see. Then I'm going to roll a straight line across. So I'm going to use 1 inch for shoulder slope. So the neck width and depth, I'm marking 3 inches. So the standard to get your neck width and depth is to divide your bust by 12 inches. Divide it by 12, you get your neck width and depth. That's the standard. So I'm going to roll a straight line across, get the midpoint of the arm cycle, then come in by half an inch, then go ahead and connect the lines just as you can see. So now I'm going to be marking the nipple to nipple measurement. Your nipple to nipple measurement divided by 2. So you mark it across like this. Then you go ahead and roll a straight line, just as you can see. But I'm just going to go ahead and extend it to the end of the pattern paper. That means I'm using the total length of the pattern paper. So I'm just going to extend it like this. So the next thing, the dart intake I'm working with on the waistline is 0.75 on both sides. So I'm just going to go ahead and contour the lines before we do the under bust contouring. So I'm just going to go ahead and connect the lines like this, just as you can see on both sides. So at the side front on the under bust, I'm going to mark 0.75, and at the center front, I'm going to mark 0.5. So I'm just going to go ahead and connect the dart leg to the end of the pattern paper like this, and I'm also going to connect it to the bust point on both sides, just as you can see. So the next thing is I'm going to be placing the bust measurement divided by 4. So I'm going to ignore the under bust, go straight to the waist measurement divided by 4 plus the dart intake on the waistline. You measure what you have there, then you replace it. So I'm also going to be placing the hip measurement divided by 4. So I added 0.5 inches, just added it there. So next thing, I'm just going to go ahead and connect the lines, just as you can see. I'm going to go ahead and connect it like this, from the chest line to the waistline up to the length of the blouse. So I'm going to be taking the bust dart. That is the difference between the front and back waistline, just as you can see. So for this person, it is 1 inches. So I'm going to be snatching the waist by 2 inches. So that's 2 inches divided by 4. That's 0.5 on both sides of the front and the back. So I'm just going to mark 0.5 and we connect the lines, just as you can see. I'm going to connect the lines like this. So the next thing is to do the shoulder contouring. So I'm going to get the midpoint of the shoulder, connect it to the bust point, just as you can see. So next thing, I'm going to open the side dart and also the shoulder dart. So once you open a dart, you have to close another dart. So since I'm going to be opening this up like this, I'm going to open it up to the bust point. I'm also going to open up the shoulder up to the bust point like this, as you can see. So then I'm going to be closing up the bust dart like this. So I'm just going to use the paper tape to hold it down, just as you can see. So you measure what you have in between when you slash it open like this. So whatever you have there, you divide it by 2. You are doing 50% shoulder tightening. So then you mark it, whatever you have, you mark it. You are going to mark it here like this. Then you mark it outward like this. Then you indicate the 1 inch shoulder slope. So you go ahead and open up the bust dart so that you can close the shoulder dart up to the point that was marked. This is to eliminate excess around the shoulder. So then you're just going to go ahead and reconnect the new shoulder line like this. Then you connect it to the midpoint of the arm cycle, just like this. Next thing now, you're just going to get a piece of paper and put it underneath just to close up that bust that is there, because there's a space there. So you just put the paper like this. Next thing, you're going to determine the over bust, how high you want it to be. So here I just marked 2 inches. I'm just going to go ahead and roll a straight line across, just as you can see. So on the center front I mark 0.75, on the side front I mark 0.5. So I'm just going to go ahead and connect the lines like this. The next thing is I'm going to determine which is more, the dart leg. So by the time you are sewn, you will not have shortage. So whichever is less, I replaced it to the other side because the other side is more. So I'm just going to go ahead and connect it like this to the armhole. I'm going to go and connect it to the armhole like this. I'm just going to clean out that line. So this is what we have. The next thing is I'm going to determine how deep. So how deep, I marked 1.5 inches. So I'm just going to go ahead and connect it like this to this line. So now I'm just going to indicate the shoulder line. Next thing now I'm just going to do is to mark the dart, connect the lines like this, because this space you're going to be cutting it out. Just mark it. Remember I marked 0.75 and 0.5, so I'm just going to be replacing 0.5 outward. So what next thing I'm going to do is try and blend the lines together to get our new armhole. So I'm just going to go ahead and connect the lines like that. So now because of this new thing I did, I have to reshape this part like this. You have to reshape it again because of the replacement that I did. Now we're going to get the mid bust. So I'm just going to go below the bust point line at the center front by 0.5. So then I'm just going to go ahead and connect the lines to the armhole. But it's not supposed to be on the armhole because it has this pointy effect. So you could go up by 1.5 inches. Then you just go ahead and connect the lines like this. So let's say you use 1.5 inches. So I'm just going to use my ruler to try and get a nice curve so that everything can blend well. So that is what you do. So that is the new line that you are going to be working with. So I'm just going to use a marker to trace it out, just as you can see. Now we're going to move to the bottom parts of our pattern. So I'm just going to go ahead and close up this dart and try to reshape the lines, just as you can see. Remember, from the waistline to the hemline I had 5 inches, so the extension of the center front is by 2 inches. So with the way I'm looking at this sketch is not really giving what I want for the asymmetric hemline, but I'm still going to go back to it. I'm just trying to still blend it out like this. Now to the neckline. So we'll determine how wide we want it to be. So I used 2 inches. You can use 1.5 inches. So I'm just going to use the curvy part of this ruler to just blend it to the armhole like this, because it's going to be sitting pretty on the inner, that's the over bust. It's going to be sitting on that. So I'm just going to I curved it in like this basically. So now next thing is I'm going to go back to the bottom part. Remember I said that it was not giving, so then I'm just going to go back to just reshape the lines again. I think, yeah, reshape it again. So I think what I have now is way better. And I'm going to just use a marker to trace it out, just as you can see. So for the back pattern, I've marked out the horizontal measurement. So from the waistline to the hemline, I marked 5 inches, just like the way I did in front. So now I'm going to be placing the shoulder measurement. I'm going to roll a straight line across, then 1 inch for shoulder slope and 3 inches for the neck width. So I'm just going to go ahead and connect the lines like this. Get the midpoint of the arm side, come in by 1/2 inch. Then go ahead and connect the lines to get the arm side, just as you can see. Next thing, I'm going to be placing the bust measurement divided by 4, waist measurement divided by 4, hip measurement divided by 4 as well. So I'm going to go ahead and connect the lines, just as you can see. So remember, for the waist snatching is 2 inches. So 2 inches divided by 4 is 0.5. So I'm going to also mark 0.5 here for the waist snatching. So it's like you mark 0.5 across front and back pattern, 1 inch back pattern, 1 inch front pattern, 1. The chest line I came down by 0.5, so I'm just going to go ahead and connect the lines like this. So I'm just going to determine the length of the back from the waistline. So I'm going to be marking 3 points. I mark 3.5 inches. 3.5 inches because the back part is short, it's not long. I'm going to mark this. This will be serve as a guide because the thing has a long effect by the side. So the next thing is I'm opening. I marked 1.5 inches or 1 inch at the center back. So on the chest line I marked 4 inches. So I'm just going to go ahead and connect the lines just as you can see. So I'm just going to mark 1.5 inches for the lacing bar, just like this. Now we're going to move to the neckline of the back. So remember I used 2 inches, so you can use 1.5 inches depending on how wide you want it to be. So then I'm just going to go down by 1 inch. I'm not sure what the back looks like, but let's just try something. So I'm just going to go ahead and connect this like this. I'm going to connect the neckline at the back like this. So now I'm just going to use 1 inch or 0.75, then just to give it a key yoke neckline. Do you get? So next I'm just going to use my hand to freehand and just connect it to this point. Connecting it to this point like this. Then by this side I'm just going to use my ruler, the curvy part like this, and just connect it like this. But I'm just going to go ahead and now reshape it so that it can look more, because it's looking as if one part is bigger than the other. So that's why I'm trying to reshape it again so it will be equal basically. So next thing I'm just doing this so that the yoke will not gape at the back. So you're just going to be closing that up and reshaping the line. I'm going to be shaping the bottom part of the back pattern yet, so I'm going to be using the front for it. So now let's move to the front pattern. So now I'm just going to be tracing out the over bust corset, the one that is inside. So you are going to take a new pattern paper and trace what you have there. You are going to trace it out. You just take your pattern paper like this and put it underneath because you are going to be tracing it out. So you take your tracing wheel to trace the pattern out, just as you can see. Carefully trace it out. So I'm just tracing the bust start like that. So this is okay. So you carefully trace it out. So this is what we have. So I'm just going to go ahead and use the scissors to cut it out entirely so that we can close the bust start and also give it a shaping at the center front and by the side as well. So I'm just going to carefully cut out the pattern paper like this. So next thing now, you're just going to close the bust dart. You're going to close the bust dart. You use your paper tape to carefully hold it down like this, and I'm cutting out the excess that was there before. I didn't cut that out, so I'm going to go ahead and label the pattern just as you can see. So the next thing I said, you can give it a shaping at the center front. So at the center front you can go up by 0.5 inches and just try to blend it like this. You know the way our bra is, so I'm just trying to give it that kind of effect. So by the side too, you go up by 0.5 inches and try to blend the line as well. So you just cut it out. So this is what you have for the mid-bust corset. Now we're going to go ahead and label the pattern, the yoke, the center front, the side front. Oh, I wrote side front twice. So the center front, you cut it on fold if that's what you want. The side front, you cut it times 2. The center front of the mid-bust corset, you cut it on fold, and the side you are going to cut 2 pieces. So now you're just going to go ahead and carefully cut out your patterns, just as you can see. So this is the front pattern. I'm going to be using the front pattern, the side of the front pattern, to cut out the side of the back pattern. So this is me going to, before I cut the yoke, I'm going to be closing up that intake. instead of cutting it out, I'm just going to be closing it up like this. Then I'm just going to use my paper tape to hold it down before I cut it out. So I'm going to take my paper tape and hold that part down. So the next thing now is I'm just going to go ahead and cut the yoke like this. There's a little bit of shortage there, so I use the paper tape to hold it, then reshape it. I'm going to take the side front to cut the back front. So I'm just going to be placing it like this on each other, like the waistline points, they are meeting each other. So I'm just going to go ahead and shape out the lines. Remember that you can extend this side if you want. Like if you want it to be pointing a little bit more, you can extend it on both sides. So this is what I have, so that the thing can align together. To go ahead and cut out the back pattern. I'm just going to cut it out. So when I get to the yoke part, I'm going to stop cutting and explain. Now you're just going to be closing this up like this. You close the darts on both sides. Close it up, don't close it down. Then when you use your paper tape to hold it down, you are going to reshape the lines. So I think I didn't record the part where I cut this out. So you just reshape the lines with your pencil to eliminate shortage, then you cut out the pattern paper. I'm going to go ahead and close the bust dart of the main body of the center of the front pattern. So you ensure that you close up the bust dart. So this is what we have, and I'm just going to roll a line for the back. This is just to create more lines for the back. So if you don't want it, you can leave it like that. You can create lines with your iron. So then this is what we have for the back yoke. So I'm going to be bringing what we have for the front pattern. So this is what we have. So the yoke for the front, you are going to be cutting it on fold, while the back you are going to be cutting to piece. So this is basically what we have for the front and back pattern. Please, if this is something you like, don't forget to subscribe, comment, like, and share. So the next thing now is I've labeled all the patterns correctly. So this is what the bottom part of the side looks